Hey there, it's spooky season and I created a corpse bride inspired makeup look. I pulled my hair up, changed outfits, and even added white contacts. Next, I'm going to cover my eyebrows. I started by applying school glue to my eyebrows, then used a spoolie brush to comb them flat. After that, I added an extra coat of glue to ensure they stayed in place. I wiped off any excess glue from my forehead and set my brows with a generous layer of setting powder, pressing it in firmly to lock everything down. Next, I applied a thick layer of light-colored foundation, blending it out as best as I could before setting it again for a smooth, even finish. I scraped some white face paint and mixed in a small amount of blue, applying it across my face and attempting to blend it with a brush. I have to admit though, the texture was a bit tricky to work with. When I ran out, I mixed another batch, this time with a bit more blue. I extended the color down my neck and chest, but since I have a bit more area to cover, let's just say I wasn't quite prepared for the extra work. I decided to set the face before doing the chest area, so I set everything and then dusted off the excess for a matte finish. Next, I moved on to the eyebrows to help guide the rest of the face. Using water-based face paint, I shaped them in that classic Burton style, curved upward from the inner corners, thin and slightly tilted. Using the same water-based face paint, I started working on my eyes. I extended the color all the way up to my covered eyebrows to create an oversized eyelid, just like the corpse bride's. I shaded the sides of the eyelid to make it look round and then added white paint under my eye to create the illusion of a big eyeball. Under the added eyeball, I added some blue paint, and I also added the same blue paint onto my eyelids. I also elongated my nostrils quite a bit to make it look like it's thin and skeleton looking. With the same blue shade, I contoured the sides of my nose and tried to blend down the sides of my nose. Then I moved on to powder. I used the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette and used the dark blue shades to blend and darken the edges and corners. I also added some blue eyeshadow on the sides of my nose as a contour, and I added some in the middle as her eyes are quite dark blue. Then I added black eyeshadow in the corners of my eyes and what was left on the brush to shade under the eye and sides of the nose. I moved on to my cheeks. I created a hollow around 2 fingers away from my nostrils to create a skeleton-like cheek. Then got black cream face paint and did the cheek detail and continued to cut the jawline as her face is much smaller than mine. After filling in my jaw with black, I continued my chest area. I traced where the neck bones will be and also drew the neck as hers is very thin. Filling in with black isn't that easy. I started using black water face paint, but after it dried, it started to fade. I continued with the blue paint. Even though the water-based paints dried and faded, I preferred them more than the cream ones as it was much easier to paint on. I added some eyeshadow to further enhance the shadows all over where it was needed. I also remembered she has a detail on her forehead, so I did that. I felt like the neck bones were a little flat, so I added some white face paint. I also added white where it was needed. Time for lips. Her lips are quite plump, so I elongated mine a bit and added some shade under my lips to give the illusion that are bigger from the middle. Her upper lips are very defined, not too thin, not too thick, and I also noticed that the sides of her lips are upturned. Finish the lips with some pink lipstick. I added some white eyeliner in my waterline. I added some false lashes for my top lashes. And then I noticed that I needed to add some black eyeshadow on the black neck area and touched up other areas too. I drew the bottom lashes on my cheeks and tried to make them look somewhat natural. I added some pink eyeshadow on my lips to make them look matte and added a bit on my cheeks. Wore my blue wig and my floral band. And this is the final look. I hope you liked it. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Stay spooky.